me what it takes to be a hero, let me know. Tell me what it takes to be a hero, let me know. Tell me what it takes to be a hero, let me know. Just let me know. I think that I should ask Mr. Watson. I think that I should ask Mr. Watson.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's Mike Watson, and we're back for another episode of Dear Creative, episode 64 to be exact, and we're building that count up as we go with another episode. I got some very special guests that I'll be bringing on here very soon. Some guys that you might know, that you might have seen in our comic book community here and there, and maybe over there somewhere. All of them involved in making comic books, making art. They are amazing people. Also, they're dads. They are, handling his family life. They're handling his comic book life. They're handling his freelance life. They're just handling life at all. And we did a little panel 5 years ago, which seems like 10 years ago, called Four Brothers, where we discussed things where we're at. We were at a very big part, or big things were happening at that time, and we did a panel discussing it, and here we are 5 years later doing things again, or continually doing things, and we're going to look at the little evaluation of that. So if you got any questions, any comments, anything like that, come on, keep them popping, bring them into the comments, give us a share, also give us a subscribe. Real quick, as of everything that's going on right now in my freelance work, thank you to all those that have supported Dear Creative and Chat and Draw and the things that are happening on this YouTube channel. I've been getting a lot of pinup work, commissions, character design stuff to do that I've been trying to knock out, but also making progress on some books. I just set up a regular meeting time with some of the people I'm working with on some book work, and there will be there's a title that we've been working on, and the writing's getting underway for that. Hot Shot is going along swiftly, even with Danny's constant comments of me inking. Those things are happening to some degree. I think I finally gave into it. Hate when he's right. But all things are good with the pages of Hot Shot. We're making good progress on them, and I think they're going to be really good. I hope you guys and gals are going to enjoy them. The next issue, I'm really trying to pour a lot into it. Did some character design work that's going really good. I'm actually having fun with the character design work, and I've been trying to push a lot of different things with hair and individuality in the characters that we have coming. Season finale of Chat and Draws coming up, and that's going to be a big one. I want you guys and gals to turn into that one. We're going to do something extra special, and stay tuned for announcements with that. But without further ado, let's bring up the challengers. Coming in first into the house, we're going to bring Danny Cooper, editor-in-chief of Freestyle Comics, lead letterer, ingenious man, and does a lot of things. And as I've been told by my brother, he's repping harder for Freestyle Comics than I am right now.
Yeah, as you can see.
And I say, damn it, he should be. He's the editor-in-chief, holding it down. All right. Next up, we got the big brother, the biggest of the big brothers, Ren McKinzie. How you doing?
Also the oldest.
Well, that's
big brother.
That's what I mean when I say
Hey, watch it. Watch it. Let's not start. We'll get it going, boy. We'll get it going.
I'm trying to do your introduction. I'm trying to do your introduction. Fantastic.
Hey, I talk some junk with the best of them. I'll hook y'all up. Keep talking about my age. Hey,
I'm trying to introduce.
See what this means.
I don't care about that. Fantastic artist. Fantastic artist. He destroys paper on a regular basis. He's created a comic book or two. Ren McKinzie, everybody. Let's get this guy out of here.
Boo!
Hey, he may get ejected. Next up, Victor Dandridge, owner, operator, runner of Vantage In-House Productions, creator of You Create Comics. He's got several wonderful comic books, one of the forefathers of the FSK brand, establishing several things that we are still using to this day, and writing one of our newest comics, The Zero Event. The four brothers are in the building, everyone. Run, hide the wives, hide the kids.
Hey, and Ren, in case you missed it, Laura said that your new name is Mustache McKinzie.
Dang.
I'm cool with that.
Dang.
That don't hurt my feelings, now.
All right.
Call me
Although-
Mustachio.
Not.
I do like Todd
Mustachio.
Dave's nickname, Swolator.
Yeah, Swolator is it. Yeah.
Swolator is a definite. Swolator is
Yeah.
definite.
Yeah. That's not even a
Hey,
that's a lifestyle.
I finished working out at 12.
No, that's just when you stopped right now. You're gonna do it again. Don't play. You like how he's wearing a Swolator shirt right now?
Yep.
Go ahead and
Hey.
do it.
He-Man, you boob.
Yeah, boo.
You muscle bound boob.
Good.
That's my mentor right there.
There you go.
That's my mentor right there.
Oh my god.
All right. So, guys, give a rundown, kind of like, so what we do on Dear Creative is we talk about our comic book lives, we talk about our freelance work and the things that we're doing. Before we really get into our main topics, which I will be revealing to everybody here in a few minutes, why don't you guys give them a rundown of what you're currently working on, any new projects, anything you got in the bat right now. We'll start with Victor D.
Why in the world would you start with me, man? You know I got the longest list of stuff that I do. It's ridiculous. That's messed up.
Get it out the way.
All right, so I just
Look, because he knows I've got the shortest list.
I know, right? Like just because Ren's just destroying paper. That's all he'll do. So yeah, we just released one here, number 6. Just finished up the layouts for issue 7, so we're gonna be working on that right away. I'm taking part in the Create Comics Challenge, hosted by Comic Book School and Buddy Scalera, where you're doing an 8-page original story, and the goal is to try to have it done by New York Comic Con time. I don't know if New York is actually going to happen, but fingers crossed that it still does. But that's the whole challenge, and I'll actually be working with Harold Edge on that particular project because it's going to be a supplemental piece to our series, The Trouble with Love. So those are the quick hits.
Okay. Ren McKinzie,
Yes, indeed.
what you got in the vat? What you working on?
Oh, that was my cue?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, out of everything, mostly I'm working on commissions, keeping up on the paper destroying aspect of my life. There are a few projects I am in the works of working on. One with David LaForest. We're getting his universe together. And I am writing and making designs for Rough House, my comic that Victor Dandridge and I created, and I will be running with that. And you know, paper's getting destroyed every day, man. I hate trees. I hate nature. I hate paper, and it must be destroyed. So yeah, that's what I got going on, man. You know.
All right.
I'm destroying some paper right now.
I dig it.
What you doing? Let's see it.
Oh, you will.
Oh, we gotta wait.
What? It's got to be done first.
Why, man? You treating us like everybody else. That's messed up.
Yeah. Okay. I tell you what. I'll give you a sneak preview real quick. Boom. Okay. I hope you saw it.
I like it. I did. I already figured it out.
All right.
I got it. I like it. I like what you're doing with it.
All right, real quick, shout out Laura, shout out Lalisa, shout out Todd, Dave, Jonathan, Lamisha, Jeff. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Please give it a share to your audiences. Let everybody else see what's going on here. We're going to be talking about some pretty interesting things or whatnot. Danny Cooper, what are you working on?
By day, I have an unfun job that's been driving me crazy thanks to COVID-19. But in my quote unquote free time, I am editor-in-chief for Freestyle Comics, which also includes lead letter and soon to be writer, aspiring writer. Though Mike wants to just call me writer, aspiring, not until it's published, for a couple titles on FSK. We've got Basement of Doom, issue 2 is completely plotted out. That's ready to go. And then we've got Heroes International that I'm taking over on. I'll be starting with issue 4. And then I've plotted out through issue 9 so far. Really excited about that. Got some fun stuff in store for that. And then right now, the most work I'm doing recently is editing Hotshot issue 10, driving Mike nuts with those comments about inking, which is what he's already doing. So he just needs to change those grays to blacks and then we'll move on.
Stop your crying.
Todd Dave said, if I share this, people will know we're friends. Don't y'all understand the dialogue?
Dang. No, Todd, that's not.
Hey, he's got to share it now.
No, if you share this, your credit score is going down. I can promise you that.
Oh man! Oh man!
Your credit score. Oh
man!
Everything.
All right. Well, we've got a few things to talk about here, but the whole coming together on the podcast 5 years later, even though I wrote 10 years later, because as much work as we all do as a combined force, it feels like it's been 10 years.
Let's be honest, 10 years is a little more catchy than 5 years.
Than 5, yeah.
Especially 5 is a milestone, but 10 is a true milestone.
Millennial is
6 months early.
10.
We're not even at 5.
It sounds better. Watch your mouth, Victor.
It's true. Mike is super early. This thing didn't happen until October. He like 6 months early.
See, that's why Victor forgot. He scheduled it. He didn't schedule for 2025.
A literal.
It was October.
5 years.
Okay.
He forgot about that 6 months of just time and anguish that we have.
You mean 6 months in March that we just
had? March did feel like 6 months.
Yeah,
long.
It was 6 months in March. That's what happened.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the topics here. That is actually a picture of us at the
look at that. Some of us have less hair, some of us have more hair.
My hairline is about the same. There's actually hair, but it hasn't changed.
So, as for topic, which I'm gonna enjoy getting everybody's feedback on this. Are comics dying? Creator etiquette. Do we need a Black Justice League with the indie community that is now? Then and now, kind of where we're at then and where we're all at now. Talking about the virus who must not be named. How are we all dealing with it and handling it? Families, comics, life. And of course, any questions and answers that everybody wants to throw out at us. And Todd Dave with our first question of, don't y'all understand the down low? No, we don't give a dang about the down low. Share the post just to get started. Shout out Paige and Brad. Paige, if you got questions for us, man, go ahead and ask them. We want that. Jonathan,
yeah, man, you picked the wrong friends if you thought being on the low was gonna be something we do. We louder than them, right?
We tell all your business.
Exactly. Ain't you seen any of our movies?
Any of our movies? All right, so jumping into some of these topics that are just real juicy comic book topics, things that I've seen other creatives and stuff debating about, but let's talk about it amongst ourselves with the audience that we have in the YouTube crowd that'll be watching on with us right now. Are comic books dying?
I like how you start with like impressive, that's impossible. Like, wow, okay.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Well, this is the thing, man. Comic books have been around since before technology, since before any of that BS, right? So the thing is, those of us that are not privy to just being fans of the films and things like that and the toys and all that mess, we are comic fans. We are aficionados of this comic book world. I'm not just talking about mainstream, all that stuff. I'm talking about indie, which we all are a part of as well. People love to read visual interpretations of a writer's word in comic book form. They love it. I don't think they tried this digital thing years ago, and I argued that people love having the paper in their hand. They love being able to go back later on and find it in their bin, collect the issues or trades if they want to. Comic books aren't going anywhere, man. We love it too much. We love it too much. And the creators of us that are doing it are not going to let it go that easily.
Right.
So COVID be damned. We're going to keep going.
Right.
All right. So after we all get our say on a topic, I'm going to run through and get the questions that we've generated in that time. D. Cooper, what do you say?
I don't think that they're dying or that it's in trouble. I think that we're at a very unique time where we're going to see continued evolution of what the industry is going to look like. You know, we've got on the DC Comics side now seeking alternate distribution, moving away from Diamond. Marvel just announced that they're going to be continuing I think at the end of this month, they're going to start moving forward with new books.
May 27th.
I think that, we have more resources to read comics. I found out last night on there is to get Dark Horse Comics and IDW on the Switch. There's an app you can download. Yeah, on the Switch, $7 a month, and you get unlimited access to their entire library.
You see Mike's face.
Yeah, so
Mike just lost a new week of product.
We're at a very unique time where I think we have far more options available to us. We have more options from the indie presentation, perspective, and I've seen more hustle out of the indie comics community in the past 6 weeks than I've seen in the last 2-3 years. Now, granted, that's a necessity, but I wonder, once the convention world opens back up and people can continue to go to conventions, will we see the same kind of online presence continue where people Mike, I think you're chained to your desk in the basement trying to hustle and keep that presence online and promote. I mean, you're part of that indie hustle, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's changing. I'm curious to see what it's going to become. But it's a very interesting and exciting time. I mean, the industry has been through, not to diss what COVID-19 is to the world. And I think, whether we're at the beginning of it, the middle of it, near the end of it, World War II, I mean, comics really, they existed before that, but that was a large birth of what we know today, because that's what people needed. So, maybe COVID-19 is going to be another resurgence of what we need to distract us from the woes of the world. So I don't think it's going anywhere. It might be changing, but we'll see what it becomes.
Victor.
It's really hard to come up with like a unique perspective now after everything that was just said. But I mean, it's true.
That's why I saved you for last.
Is that what it is?
Because you're unconventional.
You have
no. That's why I jumped in first.
Let me answer that question. Let me tell you. But no, Danny's right though. I mean, the come up from the indie community is really, I think that's going to be the front runner to showcase how things will change moving forward. In fact, I'm going to step out there and I'm going to say that it's comic conventions and the conventional store setup that's going to be the most at risk from what this whole thing has shown us. When you're talking about the concept of spending a couple $100 to go to a convention for a weekend versus the amount of effort that we've seen that people have been able to put in online digital platforms for free and still make sales, to still engage with their audiences. Not to be that doomsayer, because I love conventions. I have a huge, Ren has been doing it, his online auctions and all that. You're literally showing that the way that we've been doing it is not the way that we have to do it. And that's going to be the biggest thing. But in terms of creating, we're always going to create, that's important. Like Ren said, even digital couldn't change the popularity of books. And the truth is you can't enjoy digital on the toilet in the same way that you can a physical, right? Am I wrong?
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree. No, because I got a big library on this right here.
Oh, you do. But if you get like a bad poop, you're at risk of dropping your thing. You don't want that. You know what I'm saying? But you can put a book down. That's easy. But you can't.
That's a bad poop.
Am I wrong?
To make you drop.
Yo, you need some more water.
That's a cold sweat poop is what that is.
Exactly. And you don't want cold sweat on your device? That's terrible.
Oh God, no. Oh God, no. So he said a bad poop.
Come on, man. I'm just keeping it 100. People out there, they feel me. I'm just telling the truth.
Well, in regards to that question, I don't think comic books are dying either. I think comic books are just going through a change.
What happened to your mic? You just got far away.
You did.
You coughed too hard into it. There
I coughed. I didn't want to hear the cough. But as far as comic books dying, I don't think they're dying. I think they're just going through a change, whether that be an upgrade or a new format, a new way that we're going to be doing things. I've been hearing this phrase reoccurring, which is one of the reasons I asked this question, over and over and over again. Even when I started reading comic books, people were saying comics are dying. And I'm like, oh, these racks are pretty full, buddy. So like, every 5 or 6 years, it comes up and up again. I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm still selling comic books prior to COVID and after that and during it. I go to comic book conventions, I sell them. Comic book shops are selling them. People are selling comic books. People want these books. And shoot, as angry as people have been getting about comic books and claiming not to get what they want, I don't think that's the sound of something dying. I feel like that's the sound of people saying, I'll spend more money on comic books if you give me this and that. All they need to do is look in the indie section, though.
Well, preach, brother.
All
Okay, go ahead, get that dun, dun, dun.
right, let me hit these questions real quick. Paige asks, what is freestyle? As in, what is Freestyle Comics, the company?
Come on, man. You know that's what the question was.
But
Come on, man.
I'm just trying to
wait,
figure out.
Wait, did you maybe you only got part of the question because I got the whole thing here. You said, what is Freestyle Comics bringing this summer? Will you be reaching out to other indie creators to play with characters, expanding into crossover? And if so, who is on top of the list? So, I mean, you got it. I can.
No, you can answer that, but those are two
He's
questions.
when it's rapping freestyle. You ain't even rapping.
Those are
You ain't even rapping. Look, I'm rapping.
Hey,
right now. What? What?
Hey, Mike's a freestyle sidekick.
motherfucker.
Look at him having to look for it.
Don't play with me. I got hats cocked and loaded over here. Danny can go ahead and answer that question, but those are two questions. He's asking that question and what is freestyle. I'm just wondering why he's asking that because we've worked together. He knows what freestyle is. But yeah, go ahead, Danny.
I think to give some, I'll answer all three of the questions. So I think if the question really is what is freestyle, I think the importance of Freestyle Comics is going back to your history and that sense of rejection from Marvel, basically being told that your art is too black, although they called it too urban. I think that that freestyle represents that history of what you went through to say, F it, I'm gonna do it my way. We're gonna do it our own way and do our own thing, and it's grown to what it is today. So maybe that answers the question of what is the freestyle of Freestyle Comics. Mm-hmm. What we're bringing this summer is we've got a lot of plans for a lot of our titles, stuff that's in the works. Hot Shot 10 is 3 pages penciled. Got the whole book laid out. I know, Mike, you've got through issue 13 written. I'm working on Heroes International. We've got issue 2 of Emerald Quest finished. Issue 3 is currently being colored. We've got the Zero event, issue 1, written by Mr. Victor Dandridge and drawn by Mike Lancet. We got a lot of stuff in the works. Right now we're not looking at crossover stuff specifically that we're going to be producing through Freestyle Comics, just because we have a big game plan of what we're working on, and kind of the focus is on that. I'll mission head on that. I know there are some other things in the works. I don't know, Mike, if we're really at the point we can talk about that yet.
No.
Okay, so forget that.
Well, there is something in the works, but we can't say anything about it yet. But there is something in the works, and it's actually pretty cool.
Okay, all right. So that's the only tease that you'll get. But I think that hopefully that answers what's up for Freestyle Comics.
All right. Paige said I did not ask what is freestyle. Okay, Paige, but there's I can screenshot the quote. It says it on there. I don't mean to put you on blast. Alyssa says, I would agree that comic books are not dying, and there are a large amount of people that still do like to hold a physical copy in their hands. However, I will say that more and more people are jumping into digital comic sites online because it's more convenient, and for creators, it's more publicity to post their story and work online. Paige said, yep, comic books are still selling. He just sold 20 issues of Chess today. Congratulations, Paige.
Very nice.
Yeah. Brad says, I've been picking up a lot of freestyle and short fuse media books in the last few months, and I have been blown away by the characters, art, and storylines. Excellent job. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. And I'll say, Brad, if any feedback for FSK, definitely send it over our way. Let us know. We're always open to honest criticism.
Victor, this question is for you. Paige wants to know, how did the Classroom event go from the Kickstarter?
The one from last year. Oh my God. So multiple schools. We had an amazing time. Up to 200 students per each school that participated. The more interesting thing is the number of schools that actively said yes was a fluctuation. We started off really strong. In fact, we actually did our first school presentation before the Kickstarter was actually funded and over. That was just how strong the sense of it was. Like, we had already met our goal. We had already, we knew we were going to hit goal and beyond. So we felt comfortable going ahead and starting. And we literally did the first presentation, I think like 2 weeks before the actual Kickstarter ended at Watkins Elementary, which is technically in my neighborhood here. And the response has been great. In fact, it set up things where I started a long form relationship with Columbus City Schools. That was, listen, let me tell you how COVID-19 has messed me up. Like, for real. We were working on a big summer project with Columbus City Schools, 7,000 students, and then a plan to do a tour of 100 schools next year as a part of Columbus City Schools' enrichment program. And it was great. It was perfect. And then COVID-19 happened and torpedoed everything for the time being, since students weren't going back to school this year. And we'll have to wait and see if they go back next year. But yeah, the actual events at the schools were phenomenal. I hit a number of schools, lots of students, and it was great. It was absolutely fantastic.
Awesome. All right. So now that we got, and if you guys have any feedback about that question that we just asked about whether you feel comic books are dying or not, please put your comment in the comment thread. I'd love to hear from you. We'd actually love to hear from you. These guys are very experienced and tenured. I'm glad to have them on here because they are working the thread while they're monitoring the show, and we're getting some good responses from them, and I appreciate that. So there's a chance to interact with us live through the show and through the comment section. So put them up there. I'm going to pull back up our trendy little image because I like it, because I designed it. And our next question on the board is talking about creator etiquette. And now some of you may ask and say, what do you mean by creator etiquette? This is what I mean. So let's say you come up with something. You've been doing it all
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You need to get so mad at me. Don't do it. Don't ask this question.
I know it's coming.
Don't do it.
You can't tell we've already had this conversation privately.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
There's a couple examples of this. Let's say in example one, you have created something and you've been doing it online. Then all of a sudden, a very, very similar version of what you created also appears online. Same theory, same subject.
Why are you doing this?
A flip-flop of the name. But then also in example two, let's say you've been working with an artist, or you've been working with a colorist or an inker, and you've got a pretty good relationship with them. Then all of a sudden, you start seeing them working on some other stuff, which is fine. They're more than work on it, but it's like someone's just going through your roster of talent and just cherry picking. And every time you see a new project, you're like, wow, I didn't know that. I mean, so the question is there creator etiquette? Do you need to approach that person before, let's say, politely poaching anything from them? Or do you just go ahead and do it? That's a question.
Mike,
Mike,
why don't you start off, since you seem the most impassioned about this question? Why don't you go ahead and start it off?
Yeah, please.
Don't flip your desk in the process.
You got something to say.
Right. Solid, you got stabbed,
baby. Breathe.
Hey,
Mike, show me where they touched you, Mike.
hey,
show me where they touched you, Mike.
Hey,
right in the heart.
Right there.
You there?
Right there. Oh.
Whoa.
Hey,
Whoa.
I'm so passionate about it because I'm the most enthusiastic person in comics.
Is that what it is? That's the reason?
I've got to entertain. So I've actually posted this comment on my thread. And
we know.
Yeah, we know. And in the group.
Nah,
I got text messages.
That's not what I posted. I definitely didn't post the question in the thread.
hey, crying phone calls late at night.
Man.
No.
I can't believe you did it. I can't believe it.
Hey, creator etiquette. Is there a such thing as it? I think to a certain degree, yeah, there is. I think that if you are introducing somebody to something, say you bring them onto your team and they're working on a book with you, and then you're like, oh man, we're having a great time. Oh, boom. And then you're like, hey, dude, I just got this artist and they're drawing this for us. Da, 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 da. All of a sudden, 2 weeks later, you see that artist working on another project with that person. It's nothing.
So
Look at Ren's face.
yeah, my thoughts here is that I think it depends on the circumstance, and I think when it becomes repetitive is when it evolves into something more than just, you know, 'cause I don't think that unless you're signing exclusive contracts with talent, fantastic that they're out there getting work, getting paid, you know, getting jobs. That's awesome. But it does become, in my opinion, a concern when that may start to become a hindrance on the work that you're working on, your projects, and someone you're collaborating with or working with is using the exact same talent, poaching multiple members of that talent pool, and the next thing you know, they're busy focusing on that, and your deadlines are being missed, even though they were with you first. Now to a point, that conversation goes down to you and that creator, because the creator's missing your deadlines, not the other person that's offered them work.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's just as simple as a conversation of respect to give it a heads up. You know, I'm looking to also use this person for this. It's tricky. I don't know if it's required, but it seems like that'd be the most respectful thing to do.
It's not required. And I think the same thing, which is what I was trying to build up with the story, is that when it becomes a pattern, it gets you thinking like, okay, I think a conversation should happen out of respect and courtesy. Is it required? No. Do I think it's fantastic that these creators are getting all this work? Yes. I'm not trying to limit or stop anybody from getting any work, but I know. Hey, Vic, hit me with the tag team reach.
The hot tag.
I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm
There
playing devil's advocate. I'm coming in playing devil's advocate. Let me ask you this question. In this regard, is this a showcase that there is a lack on your behalf of, we'll say, conservative thinking? So how does any other creative in your stable find out about other creatives that have yet to work on official product without you telling about it? Mm-hmm. So like if say like you bring on somebody for a book, you don't say nothing about this person being involved on your creative projects until they have absolutely started and hit a certain level of completion before you admit it.
At that point, they're not on that specific predator's list. So, and that's what I'm gonna call them, predator.
A predator.
Yeah, that's dark.
On the radar anymore. So
that's dark. But yeah, but no, I mean, because I think that's the only way that you can. Okay, so my whole thing is no them, they, those, right? Anything that you do is got to be about you and your sense of responsibility to the stuff that happens. So while you can say yes, that other person should come to you with a conversation, at some point, the best way for you to take responsibility in it is to not tell them, whoever them they may be, about this new, talent that you've discovered until you have completed enough work that even if they find out about it, this person is already locked in. They got to finish for their own general principle. They got to finish the job before anybody else can find out. I think that's the smart move.
No, I agree. I think that there's another way to look at that also and say that handle the situation where they're not tempted to go and work for, not that they can't work for another creator, but not to put your work on the back burner to work on their stuff. And we've gone through different approaches on things with FSK, and we've experienced that. So no, I think that kind of goes into what you're talking about, Vic, that there's other ways to, I'm going to take the power of, from that situation, or I'm going to take control of that and make sure it doesn't happen.
Right.
Ren, you were going to say?
Oh, okay. Can I go now? All right. So, hey, Mike.
Yeah.
How can my language be? Do I have to be PG 13,
be
14,
PG,
15?
man. My mama can see this. My grandmama can see this. Stop playing.
Mike already dropped the MFer.
I was about to say, I heard it. I heard some cursing.
Yeah, you did.
I did not drop no MFer.
You did.
You were changing your habit. Go ahead, Ren.
Okay, it's my turn. It's my turn. Ren's got the floor. F that. This is my thing. As an artist, as a comic artist, all these things, like Danny said, unless you have an exclusivity clause or a like Arthur Adams can't draw for anybody else because they signed him strictly to I think Marvel. Anyway, dude, unfortunately out here it's a dog eat dog world, man. And like I would never do you like that, but I've got loyalty to you. You understand what I'm saying?
He love you.
I don't know about that. Watch your mouth, Vic. Watch your mouth, Vic.
You said it.
He cool. He cool.
Come on, man.
He cool.
Brothers for a reason. Come on, let's keep.
Hey, Watson's all right. All of you jerks is all right. I don't know if I love you, but I mean, I wouldn't get upset. I wouldn't get upset about it. It would annoy me. Believe me, it would annoy me, and I think it would build up. The only way I would really get upset is if it really continued, like they said, to diminish my projects, and lose deadlines for what I was working on, especially if I had that artist or writer or whoever first. Now, if he's yanking character ideas, that's a whole different animal, man. You got to put your fingers around a mofo neck. You know what I mean? I'm just being real. Hey, massage their neck till they stop breathing.
Massage it till they stop breathing.
To add on to what Vic said, I think the other part of it, which is a conversation we've had, is let's keep that circle smaller. Mm-hmm. You know, some people don't need to be in that inner circle.
Right.
And if we keep them out of it and we're cautious, that's less of a problem as well. If there is malicious intent, we're taking away the opportunity.
Right.
Right. And again, a lot of pretty much everything y'all saying. I agree.
Apparently, Mike, you did not make this post public.
No, you didn't, because you suck.
I tried to share it too and it wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
Look, I have been in those
Big
Facebook
fails.
settings ever since Corona.
Big fails.
Trying to set those up. Here, let me.
All I could do was have a watch party. That was it. I'm having an individual.
I should have done a watch party. I might do that later.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
But a lot of everything that everyone's saying, I absolutely agree with, and it is great. It's real. Those are the options. That's what it is. In all honesty, it's a pettiness in me that I have to come to terms with and let shit go.
Way to own it though. Way to own it. Be like, yo, that's my petty. That's me.
Yeah,
it is, because like Ren said, I have a loyalty to you. I have a loyalty to y'all. I have a loyalty circle. I'm not going to traipse on that circle. I'm going to have a conversation like, hey, really digging what you're doing. You mind if I encroach on this artist? I like that artist. You mind if I grab him? Or, you know, right. I'm going to have a conversation prior, like, hey, I really like that idea. I'm thinking about doing this with it. Do you mind? Like, there was a dude who, the future turtles I drew, he came up with his own version of the turtles or whatnot that he designed for him, and he made up a backstory for him and whatnot. I absolutely love the idea. I immediately sent him a message saying, hey, could I draw your version of the turtles and tell people that story? Because I think it's dope. He hit me back and said, yes, man, please do. Let's spread it. And so whenever I drew that, I drew my version of his turtles in my print. And whenever people ask about it, I tell that story like, hey, he created this or this version or whatnot. And I think it's really dope. But that's me. And again, I'm still growing. I'm still a human. And while I may have fun making this comic stuff, I do get bothered by some things, and it does eat at me. And I try to balance that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Have you ever done it, whether intentionally or not? Have you ever approached an artist or creator?
I don't know. Yeah.
That went real quick from I don't know to a yeah, didn't it?
I can't specifically remember.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna say yeah.
Blanket. You're gonna take
it's
take responsibility.
Yeah. Because I know I've done it.
Because there could be a time where I've done it and not realized it.
Right.
And just completely stepped on somebody's toes and didn't know it.
Well, that doesn't count.
Yeah, I mean
that doesn't count in my opinion. If you didn't know that the artist was working on something else,
right,
that goes to the artist to say, listen, I'm working on something. I don't have the time right now, or blah blah blah. Now I've had to do that, right? I've had to do that. I was working on something for this light skinned dude. I can't remember what his name is, but I had a couple people ask me to work on things. I'm like, no, I can't do that because if I don't, he's gonna come to my house and slice my tires up.
Whoa.
He's light skinned. So there ain't. But that's what they do. That's what they do. He's almost Puerto Rican.
It's to cut your grass with a weird pattern. That's the light skin thing.
That's terrible.
The post
Hey,
is now, the post is now public, so if anybody's trying to share it or whatnot, you can now. It's now public.
Thank you. Thank you. Because I thought I shared it.
Professionary.
Well, Ren, what I sent you was the YouTube link, so you should be good.
No, I copied the actual link.
Yeah.
And posted it on my page. Yeah. Because I'm smarter than you.
That's what I had to do.
But the YouTube link was open to everybody, so that doesn't make you smarter than me. I was smarter than you and gave you the open link.
Oh,
okay. See,
the one that I had to use to get in here.
Bro, how you doing over there?
Hey Vic. Hey Vic, how's it going?
It just both of y'all in timeout. Both of y'all.
Hey, this is how it goes. This is how it goes.
In the corner. Terrible. Okay, so like I'll freely admit that I mean maybe it wasn't poaching per se, but so when I did Origins Unknown, that was definitely a poaching-esque situation where Jacob was working with was it Studio Kumikaze at the time, and he was waiting to do more work with them. And I was like, well, while you're waiting, I got something for you. Here's an 8-page.
That's not poaching.
I mean, it's the closest I can claim, because I didn't go to the head of Studio Kumikaze and ask them if it was okay. I just yeah.
Vic wants to be a bad boy so bad. You're a nice guy.
Boy. I'm out here.
Hey, the only bad boy in you is the front of Biggie's album when he in the diaper.
Dang.
Calm down, player. Calm down, light skin.
I mean, because like even with the Trouble with Love, I asked Carrie if it was cool to reach out to Harold, and part of that was because I didn't know what else they were working on at the time. It wasn't until after I asked him that I found out that they were still doing Dyna Girl, because I didn't know. But part of it was Carrie was how I knew of Harold. Like I didn't know Harold, so I think that's another situation right there, is really looking at it and saying, is the person that you should ask how you know about that person. If you found out about them through general circumstances, well then, you know, that's circumstantial that they happen to be working with somebody else. But if literally the way that I know about this guy is from you, it's really in the right way for me to ask and be like, yo, are y'all working on something right now? I did that with when Veronica colored the 4 pages of Wonders of the Weird. I didn't know what she was working on directly with Freestyle Comics. I knew she was, and ironically, it turned out she was working on the Zero event. But I asked if it was cool if I could get her for these 4 pages, and of course, Mike was like, "Yeah, I have no problems with that," because it could interfere with the work. Granted, it's only 4 pages, but it could have. So,
and
you know, I just wanted to make sure.
But I'd say that's even like another interesting angle to that, is that she was working on something that you had written, a project that you were actually actively a part of.
Right.
But yeah, no, I just think it's you don't have to do it, but I think you should have just a quick conversation.
Right.
You know, I don't think it hurts to have the conversation.
Right.
Because when you don't, I think eventually it starts to look
it could.
like.
I mean, it depends on what you say.
It could hurt. No. It could hurt if you wanted to.
Oh my God, that's the most creepy thing I think I've heard in a long time. Wow.
It's only weird if you make it weird.
I made it weird. I made it weird.
Hey, beat that ass, man. If
it's that serious,
because you know Mike cried a couple times.
God,
we know that. I'm putting it out there. Mike cried a few times. He called me like, "Man, this dude stealing my artist, and I don't know what to do." And I'm like, "Go whoop his ass. Let's go." Can I say ass?
I mean, you did.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. About 4 times.
Hey, Mike, you're on mute.
You're on mute. Times. Yeah, your mouth's moving, but ain't nothing coming out. But that's normal for us.
Oh my gosh.
But that's why I asked. I thought it was funny when you said you're playing devil's advocate, Vic, because you've asked every single time. You've come over and have a conversation.
I don't want you crying and mad at me.
All righty, so I think we've gone in on that one. So comments so far on this one. Let me see. Got that one. Got that one. Michael Watson, you've been merging a lot of characters together. Will you be doing a comic of those new comics? I will not be doing a new comic of those, but something is in the works.
You like how he just took that idea? He didn't get no credit. Look at him poaching the idea right now. Ain't that about what?
Look,
Poaching.
I got receipts that go back to 2 weeks ago about coming up with this
Oh,
idea.
not the receipts again.
No.
Who the receipts say?
Okay, I'm slow. I got what you're talking about. Hey, that's why I just gave a blanket yes.
Say, Mike, you keep using the receipts, you're gonna get a cease and desist from Sean Mack. That's his catchphrase.
Right.
Oh
my
got
god.
that one.
That's funny.
Richard, yes, it is not up on the website. EmeraldQuest number 1 is not up on the website. I have copies of that, but we are planning 1, 2, and 3 for a Kickstarter release that will soon be announced. So don't worry about that. It's gonna have all types of goodies. Laura says she loves this, and the classroom outreach she loves too. It's not Torpedo Vic, just on pause. Love what you're bringing to the area youth and beyond. Jonathan said he started a bookstore in 2003. People said print was dying. Did heavy research and opening a comic shop in 2010. Let's see more. And people said print was dying. As long as there are books, there will be physical graphic media. Maybe monthlies will translate into digital over the next 20 years, but trades will remain. Laura says, my God, I miss you guys. Paige says, I think unless you're doing exclusive contracts, the talents on your comics is open to take jobs from other creators. And I think we all agree to that exactly. I think we're all on the same page for that. We're asking, is there or should there be a common courtesy with talking to somebody prior to making any type of moves? Dave Brown is watching. What's up, man? I mean, Darian Brown is watching. What's up, man? JM is watching. What's up? Richard Ruffin.
We had a question from Jeff Carroll.
Go ahead.
That popped up over on Vic's feed, which we lost Victor for some reason. But the question was, what makes a successful comic?
Me.
Hey. I mean, there's your answer right there, Jeff. Ren McKinzie makes a successful comic. I mean, but in part, he is telling the truth. If Ren's audience goes and buys the book that he is drawing, that he has promoted on his social media, that he has been promoting, that he is the artist of, Ren makes a successful comic book because his people will go buy books that he is the featured artist on. So, but outside,
that's the truth of any artist that has a following. You know, it's good.
But if you can't secure Ren McKinzie in the tiniest scenario, you can't get him. I would say hard work, a damn good editor, and Vic will be back. His computer froze. A dang good editor, and production quality. I would even say if you can have a well-produced book with a good editor, I think that book can catch people's attention.
So here's where I kind of go back to it. It really depends on, like, you dictate the success, like whatever your goals are. If your goal is I want to make a comic and do a small run of 100 issues and sell those, and that's the success I want, that's successful. But it depends on what standard are you trying to meet? You know, what is your expectation of success? What determines that? So I think it's more than just for us at Freestyle Comics, it's more than just making books. You know, we've tried to get out of the mindset of we just want to make these books. We want to make it the best book possible and tell the stories and be proud of what we stand behind. But I think it comes down to the creator, the publisher, of what your definition of success is.
Had to have 2 ears on. I'm reading the comments. They're hilarious and listening to what Dan was saying. I love you all. You guys are hilariously awesome. Ren, outside of having Ren McKinzie, do you have another thing that helps make it successful?
No. No, I'm kidding. Well, truthfully, a good writer is key. Personally, we've had this discussion. I don't think it's the most important thing, but a good writer, a good story, good concept, making sure that you are 100% pushing your project. I mean, if
Yes.
I've had guys who had me do a whole book and never promoted the project, never, and it never got out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy. I'm happy to take your money. I'm 100% happy to take. I gotta pay bills, right?
Mhm.
But I want to see this. This is part of my bookcase, right? I want to be able to say, hey, it's on my bookshelf. You feel me? You see what I'm saying? It's on my bookshelf. So if my work doesn't go anywhere, then it didn't matter that I drew the artwork. You understand what I'm saying? So push your project. Be diligent. Push it, push it, push it. It'll never be successful if you don't try to put it out there. I'm not saying go to a comic convention and sit behind your table with your phone on and your head down and expect people to see your backdrop and see whatever mess you got behind you as a pull-up banner and hope that people run to your table and say, oh my God, I gotta have it. I gotta have it. That's not how it works. That's absolutely not how it works. You have to push. You have to push.
Yeah.
And, you know, that to me, behind having me, is the biggest set of guidelines, in my opinion, to have a successful book.
You're absolutely right, because there may be the greatest indie book ever produced that's complete and out there, but like you said, the creator, the publisher, they're not promoting. And again, maybe they were happy with just getting it done because they can say, hey, I made this comic, but is that really success? Yeah, promotions, you're right, is a big thing, and promoting it correctly in a way that works. I think you're right. That's a huge piece to it. And
that's another thing. Some people aren't sellers, and I can understand that.
No.
Some people are not able to go to a place like we can and promote ourselves. You have to be able to promote yourself before you can promote a project, right? So I can understand that. However, if you've got money to get a book made, you've got money to hire somebody who can promote for you, who can bark for you, which is what we do. We bark, right? And be able to stand there confidently and explain to somebody why they need, not want, why they need to look at your project.
All right, that's a lot. That was some real dig deep answering right there. All right, so
I got my moments. I'm in.
Hey, what's going on? I see a WTF. Is everything cool? Are our comments being kept clean? Y'all better not be arguing in the comments. It's all peace and love here. All right, Ren, Mason's got that.
Thank you, Joshua.
Need you to sign it.
Thank you, Joshua. I love you, Joshua.
Laura says, I think
that's
not
my man.
only the physical quality of the books, but also the belief in the creation product and the enthusiasm shown from the creators and what they've created is major in the success of click to see more of a product and project. Josh says, oh yeah, Ren will beat up people if he doesn't buy his stuff. Yes, he will.
What?
Sean Mack is in the building. Vic's gone. Now we can talk about him. Yes, that's going to start right after I go through the comments. Yes, I know it was Victor's idea. I was so caught up in things I didn't realize what he was talking about. All right. Sean saying this is a good topic. All right, looks like. Yes, Sean, please do a whole podcast on the entire things that I do not like. That will not be fun for me. Richard says, I think so. Etiquette can work sort of a safeguard for emerging creatives, especially if the swiper is popular or established. I mean, there's popular guys too that are doing things, real popular guys, but it's not here nor there. JM says, had a question that might have gotten lost on the VIX watch party. Then throw it in here, JM. Jonathan says, fully agree with Ren. In 30 years of cons, I've seen amazing ideas in Artist Alley that tragically went nowhere in the hands of savvy promoters. They'd already be TV shows. I came here to talk about Vic. What you trying to
Let's
talk
get
about?
it.
Vic?
Talk all the junk you want. He ain't on here.
Nope. He can suck it up.
Mark says that's why I bought Victor and Mike's comics. They are very good. Well, thank you, Mark. We appreciate that. All right, let's get.
And I have
Hey, I think-
Go ahead.
put in on both of those. So
We got
Yes, he is. Yes,
ask
he is.
both of them what their number one sellers are.
I think we got JM's question.
Oh, you got James' question?
And you
Yeah,
found it?
he's-
He didn't put it back in here, did he? Oh, he did. He did.
I don't know. Like the comments I'm seeing are different than the ones you're seeing, Mike. You're probably getting like more real time. It says pros and cons of a creator getting a publishing deal for the creator and IP versus self-publishing.
Pros and cons.
Are we going to talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the pro for me. One of the main reasons why I like being with the publisher that I'm with. It is incredibly helping me increase my audience. And I have learned every time let's say I've done comic book work, we put out a comic book, we've gone to a comic book convention, or I feel like I've hit certain levels in this game, I get introduced to more. I have learned a ton with the publisher, seeing things from the business end of it to the comic book end, to the publisher side of it, to operations. But the audience factor is one of my key notions. I don't have a huge audience. And that is something that Short Fuse made me aware of in a very polite way. But learning that and then starting to fix those things and trying to look at things for, the full-on business aspect of making comic books, their reach, their audience, the tools that they have in their toolbox to help us get these books done, working on the Kickstarter side of things. That's definitely all pros for me. I don't really have any cons because I'm enjoying a lot of success. I'm pretty happy with things as are. Don't have any issues with them. So, but I understand publisher life or being with a publisher isn't for everybody. That's not the answer for every single person. But I'm also, we got Vic back. But I am also a
Boo.
big team player. I love being in a team environment. I love bouncing ideas off of people. I love working with people. I love going to comic book conventions with the team and just rallying the troops. That's my thing. So I enjoy it very much. What say you, D. Cooper?
I think you kind of hit all the points, on the head there.
Can't hear you.
I think it's important. There's what? Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear Danny.
Okay.
I can hear everybody. It must be you,
Okay.
Vic.
Must be me.
Vic, go out and come back in.
All right.
You sitting out the room. Go stand in the hall.
And don't take 20 minutes this time.
Listen, I'm still waiting on my computer.
Pinch it off faster and get back. No, I think you hit on all the points. I think that there's, if you're going to sign with a publisher, you want to make sure that you've thought out the reasons why, that they're going to be able to do something for you that you can't do yourself. Part of it may be a matter of if your goal is to get with a publisher from a distribution standpoint, to make sure that you're there. If the publisher is representing other books and they have a level of reputation and a reputation of caliber of quality, and you want to be a part of that because that's a bigger audience, which is kind of what you already said. I think that those are the pros to it. Cons can be if there's certain things that if a publisher comes back with certain expectations that you have to follow, and you don't want to follow that. You don't want to do things their way, at least to release books in a certain manner that they want you to release them. That's where your hands are tied. And that comes down to not really a matter of the situation of signing with a publisher. It comes down to what you negotiate and what you agree to, and what not just signing a contract to be with that publisher because I got picked up by a publisher without really knowing what you're getting into. And if you're going to be happy with that, at the end of the day, you may not be happy, or you may be very happy. And if you're signing with that publisher for a reason, you should be trusting in what they're going to bring to the table and what they're going to do for you and what they can do for you, and make that work in your in your favor when it comes time to it. But don't be mad because you don't want to do it their way. That's my take on it. But again, I think it really comes down to what you want to accomplish personally.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ren.
So I'm looking in the comments, and Mason easily brought up a publisher, and it's the only publisher that I've ever been even remotely close to signing to, and I never signed with them. And lucky enough for me that I didn't. I've always self-published. When Mike and I did the art book, and when I did my own first art book, it was self-published. And working with Victor, our co-owned Samaritan is self-published. So I don't have any insight on having a publisher, but Mason, delete your comment because it's very disrespectful. I'm kidding.
Hey, I was like, wait, what did I do?
Like, I missed it. Where's this comment?
Hey, he put it in there, man. He put the name in there. We were talking about it earlier, but y'all know what it is. But
what?
Yeah. Mason put in here Legacy Rising with a question mark.
Well,
Legacy
I would put a
Falls.
question mark behind it too.
I'll talk about it if y'all want me to. Legacy Rising was trash.
Wait, man, listen, you got Kool-Aid in your heart if you don't talk about it.
Hey, Legacy Rising was absolute garbage, and the people who ran that trash was trash, and it gave me a terrible taste in my mouth about publishers. So I'm super wary of anybody who's telling me that they can do for me, right? And I've always been that way anyway. You know what I'm saying? You really have to convince me. Vic knows, Mike and Danny know when we first started the CO and we were doing all this thing and Vic gave me this manifesto, man. It was literally this thick.
it wasn't.
And I gave it back to him. I told him I'm not reading it.
Yeah.
I told him I'm not reading it. So if you can't tell me what you can do for me and why you need me and what you need from me and what I can do for you, and it's not beneficial, then I'm not doing it. And he came over to my house. He understood what I was saying, and he talked it out to me and gave it to me straight, which is how I need it, right? So
No chaser. Straight.
no chaser. You know what I'm saying? Hey, straight vodka. But I mean, self-publishing for me, truthfully, is the best for me, right? And I would work with a self-publisher before I would probably work with a publishing company. I just haven't had anybody come to me and say, oh, well, we can do this for you. And it made sense to me to the point where I was like, okay, yeah, let's go for it just yet. You know what I mean? You'd have to do a lot of convincing. That's just straight up how it is.
Yeah, I think when you roll into those type of things, touching on both what Danny and Victor said, Danny and Ren said.
I was about to say, Vic didn't say that.
He didn't say
Dang.
nothing.
The other black dude.
It all is in. It's all in your contract. If you're not reading over your contract, if you're not negotiating for certain things in your contract, one of the biggest things that made me go over Too Short Fuse after my situation at the Legacy Rising publication, and
which was terrible.
What was your situation, Mike? What happened?
My situation with Legacy Rising did not go the way that it was planned.
Is that your diplomatic statement?
Or promised.
Or promised. And that is my diplomatic response. But the thing that I love.
Why are we being diplomatic? This your show.
High Road Watson strikes again.
Oh, here he comes. Here he comes.
But
thought we got rid of that fool.
I know.
But the thing that I like so much about Short Fuse is that I think it was a little over maybe two months, the back and forth to work with me what I wanted specifically in the contract. To make sure that everything that I wanted, that I understood what was in there, to put the things in there that they don't even normally put in there because of my previous experiences. The fact that Short Fuse and Sean was willing to work with me so much on that aspect. That is a huge positive for me, and that was a big plus that eased me over into that. And then when
Sean's got a follow with for me and Ren asking, do you feel that publishing agreements should only benefit the creator? And I think that, and him obviously asking that from the owning of a director of operations of a publishing company. No, I don't think it will. I think it's, obviously a publisher's a business, and they're going to want to make sure that they're, putting together agreements that are best for them as well as the creator. A creator's going to come back and ask for certain things potentially. They may just sign a contract and move on. But I think that so back, Ren, you mentioned the CEO. I'm going to say back then I don't remember the name of the company. They brought a project to us, and I've had this happen more than once. There was a big no compete clause in that contract that outlined that, you cannot work with anyone else. Basically, the way it was spelled out is that if we were to sign that, we couldn't work with any other publishers, any other creators. And no, that was
including
a big
self-publish.
Right. That was a big no, absolutely not.
Right.
Why now? And it was maybe like a 5-year agreement or something like that. Absolutely not. No, especially, at that point, everybody was very, very hungry and hoping to potentially, whether it was get picked up by Marvel or an opportunity somewhere, knowing to sign that away for that was terrible. So I think for me, it's those type of things in a clause or in a contract that I'm not going to sign a contract that has a no compete clause that's going to limit my ability, unless it's a situation where I know that it's the best option for me. Like if I'm signing a no compete clause and I've got a really good opportunity and deal worked out, that
exclusive
that
Ren
may be
McKinzie
well
chibi cover coming soon to the Samaritan.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
So that's I think absolutely. I mean, it's gonna, Sean, to your point or your question, I think it should be something that benefits the creator, or the publisher. I think the creator needs to be careful if there's something in that contract that they're not happy with, either negotiate a change, have it removed, or don't sign the contract. It just really comes down to what you want as a creator, because if you sign that contract, don't get mad about it later because you signed it. That's on you.
Now, was that question for both of us?
Yeah.
Or was that just an open? It was for both of us.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Let's be real about it. I outside of Short Fuse, I've never been approached by a production company in a respectful way. So,
no, he's not wrong.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
For Ren to say that, that's big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I not in a respectful way.
Yeah.
Or I've never had any.
Or not in a way that wasn't that didn't include you in a more substantial way. You weren't just ever approached as just a creator, which is what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like I understand that people think that I'm just a print monster or blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Because every time Mike introduces me, I'm the print monster, and I understand that. However,
hold up.
No, am I lying?
I introduced you today as a fantastic artist, not a print monster.
Okay, up until today, he is ever. I take that. I'll take that. However, again, I'm not just a print monster. I'm not just in blah blah blah. I do enjoy it more. I do enjoy art as a medium more than drawing comics. But you guys know I'm super picky anyway. Right? And I'm super diligent on what I work on. Me and Vic were supposed to work on Samaritan 2, and he sent me the script, and it didn't hit me like the first one. I don't want to say trash, but it was trash.
You said
it just didn't hit me, and he read it over and he agreed with me.
Right.
You know what I mean? It didn't flow as nicely as the first one, and I think there may be an opening for a Samaritan 2. I'll put it out there. I love it. I really do. I loved it. But we have to get together. We have to do a better second part, because the first part was so amazing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was so amazing. The second one has to hit just like the first. You know what I mean? And the character that we came up with wasn't the same punch on that character, and it didn't hit. So I didn't want to just put that out there
Whatever he just
for
did.
either.
Y'all heard that.
Right.
Y'all heard that
Well,
right there.
I didn't want to put the story out there. I didn't want
It's
to put
all
the
right.
story out there for me and Victor's brands and our names if it wasn't
If it wasn't
1,000%
yeah,
what I know we are capable of.
right.
You know what I mean? So come at me with some respect as a publisher, and I'll make your brand
Ren wants
the best
all
brand
the
it can
goodness.
be.
Give him all the goodness.
Listen, I don't need all the goodness. I don't even need half the goodness.
Half the goodness.
I don't even need half the goodness. Like I said, I'm really, really about a good project, a good team. It has to be a good team, right? People that I respect and that respect me as well. And that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about.
I think there definitely has to be an understanding of what is supposed to come from any sort of interaction or partnership. I think that's the thing that it's most amazing now is with all the influx of indie creators that are out there, so few of them actually have a real understanding of what their partnerships are supposed to bring about. They just they are operating in a vacuum and expect all success because they're with a publisher, but that's not really the way that this works, because no matter what, we're still independent, small scale, small press outlets. We're not Marvel, DC. We don't have the immediacy of a certain number of units being moved, which equates to a certain profitable success measure. That's not the way that we operate, and I think that's definitely something that is being revealed across the board of how inexperienced indie creators tend to be when they get into a situation. They come in, and I don't even want to say like they come in bright-eyed, because it's not as though the publishers are taking advantage. They're doing what they are supposed to do. It's just the expectation is lopsided. So yeah. We gotta.
Thank you, Joshua.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. I see, Josh.
We appreciate you. One of my favorites too.
Of course.
Yucky is the dopest character on the planet.
Oh my God, Donald. His name is Donald. Stop calling him Yucky. He's come out of rehab.
Is the dopest character
he is Donald.
on the planet.
Put some respect on that man's name.
F his name. F his name is Yucky.
Dang.
Yucky is the dopest dude ever, and he was better on crack.
Terrible. Next up, I didn't realize we've been going for a while. I didn't even realize the time. Amani's in the building.
What's good, sir?
Oh, okay. You guys already saw that one.
What?
Who is Massive Panda really? Is that somebody that you guys know? Or is who is it?
What you mean who?
I don't know who Massive Panda is.
I don't either.
You messing up.
So you're just gonna leave us like that though?
Yeah, right.
I don't know who it is. I don't know who Massive Panda is. But I'm gonna sell it.
All right. Next one.
Wake up, Ren. Wake up. Don't you die. Wake up. Bring it back.
Okay.
Right. So, what do you guys think of, in some opinions, that there should be an all-black Justice League or an all-black Avengers team?
No. Just like there shouldn't be an all-white one. Get rid of all them white boys and white girls, and let's do a real mix of Justice League. Listen, you know how I feel about Batman. He should go somewhere and retire. Superman is too powerful. Wonder Woman, it's Wonder Woman. There should be no, but the problem with the question is that we have to understand that there is, outside of Justice League the cartoon, there is an all-white Justice League.
Right.
So should there be an all-black Justice League? And I think the rest of the question is, in the indie community?
Definitely not.
Is that right? No, because it's separatist. And I don't believe in that. As a good, upstanding white man, I do not believe that we should have separatism of the. What the? Hey guys! Hey guys! Hey, I think it froze. Wake up, guys! Wake up! Wake up, Vic, Mike, wake up, dog, on it. As a good upstanding white man, I want to let y'all know that there's too much separation in the world right here today. And I don't think
Ren's mustache just took over.
I don't think that you people ought to be running around here.
What do you mean?
Thinking that you should have your you always think you got to have your own stuff. That's all I'm gonna say about that right there. Somebody give me some pudding. I need some pudding.
Oh my God. Okay, so
I need a bowl of cobbler right now.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we need an all black Justice League or an all black Avengers. To some degree, they've already done that. And nobody bought it. So to answer some of the questions, if it was wanted so badly, they gave it to you and then nobody purchased it to keep it going. So that's already been done. But what I think is if you're trying to say that we need an all black Justice League and all black Avengers team because we need to see more of us out there, I cannot stress any more than just going through Artist Alley when comic book conventions come back, or looking online, or checking out any of the several self-publishers who just make comic books with a mixed, diverse cast, not because we have to, but because we want to. Right. And I don't want to speak for everybody, but I do that personally because that's the world I live in. I live in a world with a bunch of different types of people. Sex, size, shape, race, whatever. I have a bunch of people in my life, so I put a bunch of different people in my comic books. So I think if that's what you're looking for, if that's what the point of the question is, if that's what we're trying to get, that's where you need to look to. Look to other outlets. Now, I still like Marvel and DC. I still get my books. I'm a fan. I do. But instead of getting pissed off at what they do, and I used to get severely pissed off, I just look elsewhere. I don't buy the stuff.
Create your own. There you go.
Got that right, brother.
Oh.
Yo, he was sitting on that got that right, brother, for at least 2 minutes. At least 2 minutes.
He had to be.
He was like,
it came to me as soon as he finished.
Oh my God.
It came to me as soon as he finished. I agree with you. Everything you said, you black man.
Terrible.
Jason,
terrible.
Power to the people.
Jason says DC should make another Justice League book called Justice League The Forgotten. Members should be Black Vulcan, the Wonder Twins, Space with Monkey Geek, El Dorado, Apache Chief. All these different casts should be on the Justice League Forgotten.
Technically, I don't think they own those characters.
No,
so they can't do that.
I think if they were to do something like that, it should be a series of one shots. Don't put them together as a team of racially diverse except white characters book. It won't work. Now, if they did a series of, say, forgotten heroes and they used them in their own one-shot stories, that would be amazing. I would completely read that, huh?
They should also include the Native American Flash that you and I came up with.
Dude, that dude was dope.
He was. His name?
Not to toot my own.
Pronto. That was
listen. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I knew he was going to leave.
Nope.
Wrong is back.
That's a bad idea.
What you mean, man? Come on, that's genius.
Hey, that was a fast engine. That's all I'm going to say. It was a little engine that could, and boy, did he care.
No.
Why when I do something wrong, Red, you just got to take it wronger. Like you got to go worse.
Hey, we're a buddy team. We're a buddy team. Pow! Wonder Twin powers activate. Hey, two white dudes. Hey, me and Vic are gonna go on a comedy tour. It's gonna be called Two White Dudes and Some Jokes.
There's a lot of confused people when they walk into that. When the act starts.
That's the first joke. When they walk in, they could be like, people like,
because there would be no pictures on the poster. All right, can I read one? Can I read a question?
Go ahead.
All right, Jonathan said, interesting that X-Men beat everyone to the punches decades ago. They've long been a wonderful, diverse team. You are absolutely right.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, they killed off their only Indian member very early in the series.
Second issue.
They
But he
gave
died as a hero.
their black character straight white hair and blue eyes,
Mhm.
which has been a topic in the black community for years. The German dude is the weird blue guy.
Mhm.
What else was it? There was an Irish dude,
Yeah, you had a Russian
a Russian dude,
and a Canadian that nobody knew was from Canada.
and a Canadian. Yeah, he was from Germany in the cartoon. That
No,
one
Australia.
shot
He was from
cartoon.
Australia.
Oh, Australia.
Yeah, yeah,
Australia.
yeah.
You're right. You're Australia.
Yeah,
I apologize. I've got it on VHS in the basement. I loved X-Men long ago. I really did. For
Mike, what are you doing?
You got a reel-to-reel copy of that somewhere?
A home theater version.
No,
He
but
said
I wish I did. It'd probably be worth a lot of money.
Probably.
You right. You right.
It'd probably be worth a lot of money. I wish I did.
Needless to say, an all black
Get them off.
version of anything is not necessary.
Right.
There's a
I'll say
show.
my take on it.
Oh, go
Wait.
ahead, man. Go
I'll say
ahead.
my take on it.
Yeah, don't be racist. Leave Danny.
Yeah, don't let me not
That's
talk
messed
about
up.
it.
Right. That's messed up.
Sure.
Hey, you gotta let the black guy talk.
Thank you.
No,
Go
my
ahead,
take
Coop.
on it is that
Come on, brother Cooper.
I mentioned that the representation is important, and I think it's important from a lot of different perspectives. One being that my nieces and nephews need to be able to see these characters. Mike, I saw how important it was to the kids when they saw Black Panther in the theater, and what that meant to them, and kind of how moving that was to see that film. But I also think it's important that I'm fortunate to have grown up in a world where you guys are my brothers, and my kids call you each uncle. And there's parts of even in the U.S. where we don't have that, and that representation is important from that perspective. Because it's important for kids growing up in all white communities to see characters of color being represented in roles of leadership and things like that. I think that's important. So representation matters from a lot of different ways. I agree. Separation, when you create that separation, you're going to exclude certain people. Mike, we've had conversations about doing stuff where, do we ever need to be concerned that Freestyle Comics is going to be labeled as a black comic book label? Is that a concern that we need to take? Because are we creating a level of separation for our products that we're only catering to a certain audience? I think we've been very careful in what we market and how we present things. That's not what we're trying to do. That's not the goal. Our goal overall is to have characters that look like real people you see in the world.
Right.
But again, that's the people that we see in our world, in the area we live in. My biological brother lived in a world not too far away in Kentucky where there was one black kid in his high school. He didn't know people. He didn't have that exposure. There wasn't that representation in his world. And it's very important that we have it.
I know, right? Like subject.
Hold up, man. You didn't clap for mine.
Hey, listen. When a black man drops knowledge, you gotta appreciate that. Stow it, oppressor.
Okay, I see how.
Look here,
I see how
colonizer.
it is. I see how it is.
Stop it, colonizer.
I see how it is.
I died for you. So it don't get no better than that.
It was a quick death.
It was a quick death. All right, so we're actually we're coming up around the final few minutes of the show, or whatnot. Let's give some final thoughts from each one of you guys about the state.
What?
Did he freeze for y'all too?
He froze.
I think he froze. Yeah.
He did too. He was like the stay.
That dial up, boy.
Yeah, I want to make one of his internet.
Hey, the interlude comes.
Right, everybody roast Mike. You got 2 seconds before his video comes back.
There we go.
Dang it. It's over.
Hey, we missed all of that, Mike.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
All of it.
Every last bit of it.
Every last bit of it.
So what I was asking is, in the virus that shall not be named, in our last few minutes, for hearing from each one of you, how has it affected you, and how are you overcoming it? And does it change anything once things get to some state of normal?
I mean,
Who
I
wants to
already
go
talked
first?
about how
What was
it
the
torpedoed
last-
my
talking
plans
about
with
COVID?
schools.
Yeah.
So yeah, I already talked about how it torpedoed my plans with schools. What it's forced me to do is to try to figure out digital ways of integration and outreach. So like right now, I just finished up a You Create Comics book fair catalog that I'm sending out and allowing parents to get supplies for their students over the summer, and still wanting to do things to benefit the schools. What we're doing is we're taking 40% of the profits, and you name what school your kid goes to, and we're donating that to their PTA. So come next year, ideally speaking, this move will allow for them to have some funds that they can do some more enrichment projects and kind of recoup some of the things that they didn't get to do at the end of this school year. So that's one of the biggest things, is trying to figure out how can I still do what I do in this world of quarantine, self-isolation, and non-essential setups.
Very cool.
Very
For me, since I'm right next to Vic on my screen, I'm gonna go next. So
Do it.
the only big thing for me that has changed is travel. I don't have a huge following, but it's enough to keep me sustained, right?
Mhm.
And I've been able to push my artwork to people, and whether they like it or not, it seems like they do. People want to purchase my art, and the biggest change is that I'm doing online auctions instead of taking my stuff to the shows and putting it in a binder and having people come by and buy things from me that way. I absolutely love it. And I think I'm going to continue to do it even after this no-name disease, COVID-19. We're not supposed to name it.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to say COVID-19.
We're
So it'll be. I'm sorry, it keeps slipping out.
You said 3 times, it'll show up at night.
But yeah, I was about to say,
bathroom.
I can't help it, man. COVID-19 has got a hold of my
God.
soul, and it keeps controlling me.
He gonna get it.
It's my Horcrux.
Oh my God.
But
But over there in the
I think I'm
bathroom like
gonna
COVID man.
right.
Damn.
He's gonna be like, "Meh." So I think I'm gonna keep doing it even afterwards, because I love doing it. I love being able to get online and talk to people, right? And joke and show my artwork and draw. I think I'm gonna keep doing that as well as much as possible. I've been drawing once or twice a week and having people join in and just having fun, man, in this time where we're all stuck in the house, and I'm not able to drop off these dope ass joke lines to people. Your boy's got a joke, man. I gotta tell jokes, man. And dad jokes don't pop off when you're in the bathroom by yourself crying in the mirror. So all I'm saying is, give me.
Do you need hugs? Do you need hugs, bro?
I need it.
I got you. We just bring it all in here, all in there. I got you.
adorable.
I think that was it. I'm gonna keep doing it. Outside of going to shows and stuff. I mean, it's dropped my ability to pay bills a little bit, but it's not so significant that I can't.
Right. I would say it not that it's dropped it, it's changed it.
It's changed. It absolutely has changed it.
Yeah.
It absolutely has changed it. Because truthfully, if I think about it, if I eliminate travel and hotels and table costs, I'm probably still coming out the same as far as bring home money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate in that aspect. I'm very, very fortunate in that aspect, and I can say that 100% with impunity. I am absolutely fortunate in the way that I've got a little bit of a fan base, and there are some people who are absolutely diehard in love with what I am able to put on a piece of destroyed paper.
Mm-hmm.
And was it Friday night? I put down some of the best mess I've ever put, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I looked at the mess yesterday and was like, I know I didn't do that. I must have been drunk. I must have been on some art crack for real, because but it's given me so much time to draw and create. And Vic, we were talking before all this mess went down. I wanted to be able to push my artistic side outside and just experiment.
Right.
And I've been able to do that. And I'm gonna cut it off because I know I'm going over. You told us a couple minutes. I missed you.
Look at his producer face too. He's like,
I was actually reading one of the comments that was making me raise.
Wrap it up, B. Wrap it up, B.
Nah, you good. I was checking out one of these comments that was making me raise my eyebrow. But go ahead, Danny.
I'm gonna be honest. I was reading comments, so I missed a portion of what's the overall topic. I know we're not allowed to say the name of the villainous C19, but
how has it changed? How has it changed what you've been doing? Yeah.
I've been working a lot more. You know, the I would say, you know, from the 9 to 5 perspective, it's been tough. It sucks. So
if you guys haven't noticed, we've heard this before. We have heard this before.
Immediately. And, I mean, it's you know, there's a whole global pandemic thing, and you know, it sucked. But you know, I probably have experienced the least amount of change of the three of you. So you know, I'm not actively going to comic conventions and things like that, but it's changed my overall outlook in regards to just on a personal level from a health perspective. And you know, I've heard a lot of different stuff that, you know, people that can be affected by this, if you're healthy, it can still get you. If you have a strong immune system, you're less likely to get really sick. I don't know. It's changed my outlook, and want to make sure that I'm healthier, because you never know what might happen. I miss soccer. So, you know, I've coached soccer in the spring and fall and getting out with kids. That sucks because they canceled our season this past season. I enjoy getting out there, coaching my son's team, helping out with my daughter's team. It's a great bonding opportunity for us to act. I mean, we can still do that stuff at home, but it's not the same getting out with teams. So I miss that. Definitely. That was an important part of our day to day in the summer, or in the spring and fall. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Overall change. I don't know what else it's really changed for us, other than I've been working from home for the last 3 years, and I'm constantly at home now. It sucks. Like, I'm excited to go to Lowe's to go get something that we need around the house, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I am eager for this to lift. I'd like for us all to be able to get together again. We haven't had our usual annual, like, late spring get together. So hoping we can have one of those this year.
Because we've actually missed 2 birthdays because of this whole situation so far out of our group.
Definitely.
So Ren might be the only one that gets an actual personal celebration if this lifts by the fall.
And that's if I'm still here.
Oh my God. Why you say it like that, old man?
Him leaving. He's leaving us.
No, he ain't. He can't leave during this quarantine time.
Hey, listen, man. It's probably the best time.
No,
you got one more time to bring that up in a public setting with us.
I haven't. That was the first time I brought it up in public,
and that's to be no more after that. That's what I'm trying to say. The one time was enough.
Was 2 times too many.
Exactly.
1 time, 2 times too many.
Okay.
Keep it up.
Okay. I sorry.
And trust and believe, no matter where you go, we can find you, and we'll still have that personal birthday celebration if we need to.
Hope your basement doesn't flood.
Wow.
Wow.
Danny just threatened everything.
Really? Like, everything. Hey, listen, he's been threatening since I told you guys.
He was like,
him and Mike were talking about coming and busting out all my windows or something and breaking stuff, so I couldn't sell the house.
All that nice work you've been doing. I'm planning on helping you.
That's messed up.
I don't need no help.
I got you, brother. I got you.
Nah, the trick is to start breaking into other people's houses so the crime rate goes up. Don't nobody else want to do it.
So my house is. No, man, it's sell faster.
Terrible. But things have changed a lot for me because I do after school teaching and I teach art classes. So a lot of my stuff I've spent a ton of time rolling over to virtual classrooms, reorganizing my lesson plans for the virtual classroom, learning a ton of crap about Google Classroom, Book Widget, Ed Puzzle, and all these different apps and applications I can use to try to help keep these kids interested in learning to some degree. But as far as the art stuff, that's outside of traveling, as Ren has said. I miss my comic book conventions. I missed them severely, but I've been in the house working, doing art, doing a lot of commissions and things like that. So that has not really changed. I do not mind being in the house. My family does, though. They're not built. They are not made for this type of work.
How many Spider-Verse characters do you got?
1, 2. He got a lot of them over there.
You do.
Yeah. So, but I have dived full-fledged into the online streaming and YouTube game, trying to really up my presence there and bring it on. So I'm definitely going to continue doing this.
When you launching your fans only page
next week?
Hey.
Look at him.
If by fans only you mean Patreon, that is about to launch. The Patreon page is coming soon. We're doing upgrades of the chat.
I'm actually gonna open one of those myself.
Yeah. The fans only page. That's what he means.
Yeah.
I am.
He gonna draw stuff in the nude. Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna have a Skeletor mask on. And
take the tablet off your lap.
That's no.
The what?
Yeah, don't take the tablet off your lap. Don't do it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You like that, don't you?
Yeah.
Terrible. Well, I would thank all these gentlemen for being on the show today. You guys, as we go through, let everybody know where they can find you. Danny Cooper, where can we find you at on social media?
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just look up The Office Geek. You can find me there.
All right.
Not YouTube. I say YouTube. I'm not on YouTube.
Yeah.
Twitter.
Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. There you go.
Twitter. Ren McKinzie, where can they find you at?
I am on Facebook. Who? Skeletor. Swolletor.com. Yeah, Swolletor.com. Dinglings.online.com.
Whoa. And leaving the studio.
So Ren McKinzie on Facebook. Writing artist, that's RIDING artist on Instagram, and I believe it's Ren McKinzie on Twitter, but I don't use it very much. Yeah. Either way, you search for Ren McKinzie. If you spell it right, you'll find me.
If you don't spell it right, that's your fault.
Hey, my dad didn't spell his name right, so I've got no faith in anybody else.
Wow. He's still a monster for not telling him how to fix that, bro. Come on.
Hey, listen. He gave me the name. He should know how to spell it.
Come on, man.
Absolutely.
You know he just pushed the button. You know he just missed the button.
It was his name for 17 years before he had me. He gave it to me. It's been 44 years after that. He should know how to spell it. He should know how to spell it.
Terrible.
This dude's in his 60s. He should know how to spell it.
He just missed the button, man. Just tell him to fix the button.
PROOFREAD.
Rude. Rude.
Victor Dandridge, where can they
check
find
yourself
you
before you wreck yourself?
Oh my God. You guys can find me at Vantage In House on all forms of social media. That's Twitter, Instagram. We have a Facebook page. You can also check out You Create Comics. That's the letter U, CRE8comics.com. We also have a Facebook page as well as a Twitter handle on that one. And you can find me in your hopes and dreams. You can see me every week on Black, White, and Red All Over. We actually switched over to doing digital interviews or virtual interviews in the meantime of getting new books in. So definitely check that out on YouTube at YouTube.com/ comictown.tv or TV.TV. So yeah, check that out.
All right. Awesome. Well,
I'm gonna pull a Teddy Riley. What is that? Somebody, can you hear me?
That's horrible.
Hit the button.
Look at Teddy Riley. And
I'm Teddy Riley.
Danny is baby.
Hit the button.
There is all my social media information.
You done covered my face.
Sure did.
Please be sure to check out. Please be sure to check out shortfusemediagroup.com for all your comic book merch and all geekdom over there. We got t-shirts, action figures, comic books, digital and print. I recommend getting the print because you get the digital for free. Check me out as Art of Mike Watson on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Follow up Freestyle Comics on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as well. And tune in next week for Chat and Draw, as I will have Lori Foster on the show on Tuesday. Looking forward to that one. And subscribe to this channel because we do cool stuff like this all of the time. I'd like to thank my guests for coming on. I see and talk to these guys dang near every single day, but I think it's a joy when you guys get to get a little treat inside our world and how we are together. So I hope you enjoyed this episode.
A little bit.
I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Make sure you follow all these guys and check them out. They all do great work. And this has been another episode of Dear Creative. Thank you so much for tuning in and making your comments. Please share it out. Please subscribe. I got 4 babies to feed. Bye-bye.